The Haunting Tales of Noir Darklands. A Hitman's Chronicle Entry 1. The Gutter Prince. Demon's best entry into our world is not a magical portal, but through the hearts of men. 5 prime worlds, each corresponding to one of the unbound entities that created them, serve as the foundation for countless variations of past, present, and future. Each world boasts a myriad of distinct realms and planes of existence, some teeming with life and light, others shrouded in death and darkness. Yet every world shares one common thread, an etheric realm, also known as the realm of magic or souls. These realms intersect at certain junctions in time and space, giving birth to the mysterious etheric crossroads, a phenomenon found within every world. It may manifest itself as a fixed location activated only during specific hours or seasons, or a mere blip within warp space. Chapter 9. The Lament of Worlds. Beneath the umbral cloak of infinity, the multiverse sprawled, an endless tapestry woven with the threads of existence. Each strand a story, each fiber a fable, they stretched and twisted through the fabric of reality, creating a vast quilt of realms that defied the confines of imagination. Shadows nestled between the seams of worlds, harboring enigmas untold. Light pirouetted across the spectrum of creation, casting incandescent arcs through the cosmic dance of chaos and order. Boundless, I murmured to myself, my voice an infinitesimal whisper against the grandeur of the multiversal expanse. A crucible of ceaseless genesis. Every world was trapped in an endless cycle of mechanical rotations, with massive devices appearing to ensnare each one. The expansive chamber containing the entire multiverse continuously recycled the deceased worlds and revived new ones, creating an unending loop of life and death for all its creations. From the top of the observatory, Asarin gazed through the circular glass roof at the endless expanse of darkness looming over him. The cards had fallen, and eerie whispers filled his project from the shadows. Asarin hesitated, knowing he had been promised more time, but struggling to accept the consequences of his own creation. Asarin gestured towards the magnificent mechanical oak at the center of the observatory, declaring, "Your power lies within the heart of the worlds. Go and claim it." With a lowered head, Asarin spoke softly, "Please forgive me, my children." Chapter 1. The silver skies clear cast today. I swallow hard as I hold my mocha, grinning ironically at the waitress. The ceiling plate, miles above me, blocked out all sunlight. The cobblestone road, a slate gray, was a dented and cracked pavement under an ever-present darkness. Yet light still crackled from ether lamps, faint and green, casting strange, almost magical lights across that same floor, reflecting as it met the glint of a man's lighter by a cafe shop. Smells of cinnamon clashed with deep hazelnut-infused coffee and the scent of a homeless man urinating in a nearby alley. The aroma of motor oil mixed with a passers-by aftershave, masking his desperation. My eyes were drawn to the endless advertisements hanging from the walls. Real estate posters read, "Invest in our country's tomorrow, today." The posters had an almost pop art style, and the metal sheets that formed houses and skyscrapers within Darkspire stretched up to increasingly high ceilings. The grin of the man seemed harmless, but I know everything here is tainted, just like me. That same man was shaking nervously as he passed the woman next to him, trying to hide his shame at being rejected yesterday and his overwhelming desires. Monologue. No matter where I go in this place, I feel confined. The ground serves only as a reminder that we're all rats in a cage. Matriarchy, Dragosian, Atarlis, all of us. I suppose I should start from the beginning to explain why I'm here. It's not about God or any mumbo-jumbo regarding a higher power or destiny. It's about this very moment, in the depths of Low Town, in the Darkspire's slum. See, 3 weeks ago, the builders of the cafe shop caused an accident, and that guy over there, well, he likes women. He likes them a lot. Enough to lure them back to his place and oddly never see them again, if you catch my drift. So today is homework and a client's scorn to reassure her mind. My story begins here, enjoying my coffee. Monologue end. My black jacket obscured much of my features, my eyes sunken beneath my pallid, gaunt face. I felt tired, and it showed. My eyes were reddened from staying awake far too long, searching for the next place to lay low after a job. Every sleepless night felt more regrettable than the last, I thought, as I reached for my mocha, Capullo Coco. You'd be Choco Loco not to love it. Like everything else here, it was just another catchy slogan with a gimmick. I folded this week's Darkspire Daily to read the sports section while keeping one eye on the advertisement featuring Loverboy. The red lace ad was a welcome distraction. I also noticed that the Crimson Colts had beaten the Hallion Reavers 2-1 in Gravy Ball. It would have been unusual if the Colts weren't also pushing Colt cider ads. The Reavers clearly took a dive, allowing the city to rake in cash and ensuring that the right palms could get greased. The city administration was in full swing, and the man with the crew cut resembled your average Joe. However, there were signs of military training, which was not unusual in this city, as war was always present. In Dragosha, we were just cogs in a large, ever-turning machine. He wore a green suede jacket, a white shirt, a blue tie, and freshly ironed black trousers, all meant to impress as he handed her the ring. I couldn't help but snicker, thinking, that's wife number 2 then. The woman, adorned in a sequined dress, moved gracefully, her body swaying rhythmically to the societal dance of hidden debauchery. Her brown skin was bronzed to perfection, and I could almost picture the sweat pooling on her skin as the two of them strolled down the street. Would the gamble be his loss or gain? The only outcome for relationships out here. I glanced at my watch, careful not to follow too soon, and checked the time on the cheaply bought accessory. As I sat in the white, oversized plastic chair, savoring the last sip of my drink, I knew it was almost time to move. I reflected on how life had turned out this way. Supposedly, there was something called the collapse, during which the old custom governments engaged in a war that never truly ended. People never learned anything, and those like me continue to profit from their ignorance. Anyway, the survivors have banded together in small communities, building from the leftover scrap. At least in our history, we created Darkspire perfectly, making it the 4-tiered city it is today. In truth, it took years, centuries, even. The original construction workers were neither builders nor engineers, but they did find lessons and tutorials to guide them. The real founders of the city came later, adding layers of scrap metal and old-world remnants to create the eyesore we now call home. But for now, we'll leave it at that. I stand up and walk slowly, but not suspiciously slow. I remember what his first wife said, married for a single day, and then he left again, as he always does. She had investigated his background herself, using private investigators. All she could find was that he was a bad husband and an even worse man. His sacrifice was made for the sake of his uniform, a symbol of duty and allegiance. The women he encountered were both his shield and his indulgence, a tempting vice that came as a perk of his demanding job. With each new assignment, he found himself constantly on the move, navigating through the shadows of desire and deceit. After engaging in very public displays of affection, which were carefully staged to secure his entry into exclusive venues, he was able to infiltrate places that should have remained off-limits. It was a risky game, one that required him to do things he knew were unethical, all in service of a Dragosian empire that he did not truly love. Funny, isn't it? Women are treated as disposable, and men wearing many faces representing this reality. As we turn the corner from the cafe's road into Gravecrest Priory, a path that had once seen more traffic due to its religious significance, as I reminisced, a quiet joy swelled within me at the thought of how the chapel of Sinvella had gradually fallen into disrepair. Once a revered sanctuary and the birthplace of our kind, it now stood in solitude, its glory overshadowed by the relentless march of time. In a world that appeared to be spiraling into despair, the number of visitors dwindled to almost nothing. The echoing silence of the chapel's hallowed halls highlighted the neglect, as dust settled on the ancient stone altars and vines crept over the once immaculate carvings. It was a poignant reminder of a past that felt increasingly distant, as fewer souls ventured to pay their respects to the very origin of our species. I watched the two hold hands, her head resting on his shoulder as they crossed the